Today, we're breaking down the real cost of living in Orlando in 2026. Because if you're thinking about moving here, you need to know what things actually cost, not what some random website says, not what your cousin's friend told you, but what you'll actually spend month to month. We're going to cover housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, all the stuff that adds up when you're actually living here. By the end of this video, you'll know if Orlando fits your budget or if you need to adjust your expectations if you're thinking about moving to Orlando. Let's get into it. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the biggest one of them all, housing. Whether you're renting or buying, this is where most of your money goes. If you're renting, here's what you're looking at in 2026. A one-bedroom apartment in a decent area, you're looking at $1,400 to $1,800 a month. It could be less, it could be more. If you go further out, it could be less. If you want to stay in the city, in the hot spot like Winter Park or Lake Nona, it's probably going to be more. A two-bedroom, you're looking at $1,700 to $2,300 a month, depending on the location and the different amenities, of course. A three-bedroom house rental in a family-friendly suburb, you're looking at $2,200 to $3,000 a month, and maybe even more. Now, if you are buying, the numbers shift. Median home prices in Orlando right now is sitting around $400,000 to $425,000 depending on the area. So let's say you buy a home at $400,000, you put down 5%, that's $20,000. At 6.5% interest rate, your principal and interest will be around $2,400 a month, and that's before taxes and insurance. Now you add tax and insurance, you add HOA maybe, now you're talking about a mortgage between $3,200 to $3,500 a month. The bottom line, housing in Orlando is not dirt cheap anymore. It's still more affordable though than areas like Miami, Tampa, or if you're coming from out of state in different places like Austin or Denver, it's still more affordable in those cities. Now, utilities in Florida comes with one big wild card, air conditioning. In the summer months, from June through September, your electric bill will jump. There's no lie about it. We're talking about an extra $100 to $200 a month on your light bill. In the cooler months though, it drops to about $100 to $250 a month. Water and sewage usually runs $50 to $80 a month, and you need internet, so that's gonna cost you about $60 to $100 a month depending on the type of package you have. Trash and recycling are typically included in your HOA or the city takes care of that. All in, you're looking at $200 to $400 in utilities almost throughout the whole year. It's higher than most states because the AC load in Florida is gonna really hit that electric bill. Now, groceries. Groceries in Orlando are not the cheapest, but they're not ridiculous either. For a single person eating at home most of the time, your budget might be around $300 to $400 a month. If you're a couple, you're probably looking at more $500 to $600 a month. For a family of four or a family of six, now you're talking about maybe $800 to even $1,000 a month if you go to places like Publix or Aldi's. Now, if you want to go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, well, you might spend a little bit more in those places if you're gonna feed a family of four. Now, it's pretty comparable to what the national average is, maybe 5 to 10%, a little bit, higher. But consider this, we are a city, a big metro city, so that's to be expected. All right, now let's talk about getting around the city. Orlando is a car city. Public transit exists, but most people here drive. And gas prices in Orlando right now is hovering around $3 to $350 per gallon. If you're commuting 30 to 40 minutes each way going to work or to school, budget around $150 to $250 a month for gas. Car insurance in Florida is higher than the national average. That's no surprising. And you're looking at between $150 to $200 a month for full coverage, depending on your car, the age, of course, and your driving record and your age. As far as car payment, that's on you, but the average new car payment in the US right now is around $550 to $700 a month. So used cars are obviously way less than that. So all in all, for transportation, gas, insurance, car payment, maintenance, you probably want to budget around $800 to $1,200 a month for transportation. Now, there are toll roads in Orlando, so if you live there, you might want to budget about $100 a month for the tolls if you're gonna take toll roads to go to and from work, job, school, all of that. Homeowners insurance in Florida is expensive. You're paying $3,000 to $6,000 a year depending on the size of your home, the value, the location. That's a lot. And if you're in a condo, your HOA might cover those things, but you still pay some type of insurance fees if you're in a condo. So insurance is one of the biggest sticker shocks for most people when they move to Florida, because it tends to be a little bit higher than wherever they came from. If you've got kids, now this one matters. Childcare. Daycare in Orlando for an infant runs between $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Toddlers are a bit less, $900 to $1,200 a month. And preschool programs vary. You're looking at $600 to $1,000 a month, depending on the program. Public schools are free, of course, but if you go private, tuition ranges from $8,000 to $20,000 a year, depending on the school. Childcare is expensive everywhere, and Orlando is no exception. If you've got multiple kids, this is a huge line item you want to consider in your budget. It's almost like a second mortgage. One of the perks of living in Orlando is that there's always something to do. But that can add up if you're not careful. Dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant will cost you between $50 to $80 without drinks. A night out with drinks, easily $100 to $140. Theme park annual passes. If you're a family of four, you're looking at $2,000 to $4,000 a year, depending on which parks and which tiers of passes you get. But here's the thing, you don't have to spend money to enjoy Orlando. There are free parks, the lakes, trails, festivals, and events that's happening around the city all year. And it's easy to rack up entertainment costs if you're not intentional. So look out for those free events that's happening almost every weekend somewhere around the city. Here's where Orlando gets a huge plus, and that's no state income tax. If you're making $80,000 a year, that's an extra $5,000 to $8,000 in your pocket compared to living in a state like New York, California, or even Illinois. On top of that, the sales tax in Orlando is around 6.5% to 7%, which is pretty average. And then when you get to property taxes, that's around 1% to 2% of your home's value on an annual basis. So, for example, a $400,000 home, taxes will be around $4,000 to almost $5,000 a year. Still, the lack of state income tax is a game changer for a lot of people, and it's one of the main reasons people move here. Now, let's put it all together. Here's what a realistic monthly budget looks like for different situations in Orlando in 2026. If you're a single person, you have rent, that's $1,600. Utilities, that's $200. Groceries, that's $350. Transportation, that's $400 if you don't have a car payment. Insurance, you're looking at $175. Entertainment, that's $300. In total, you're looking at about $3,025 a month, or about $36,300 a year. If you're a couple and you're renting, your rent is $2,000 a month. Utilities is $250 a month. Groceries is $600. Transportation is $700. Insurance, you're looking at about $350. Entertainment, about $500. That's a total of $4,400 a month for a couple if you're renting. A family of four that are homeowners, you got your mortgage, that's around $3,400 a month. Utilities, $350. Groceries, $950. Transportation, $900. Childcare, $1,800. That's one kid in daycare. Insurance is $650. Entertainment, about $600. That's a total of $8,650 a month for a family of four. These are realistic numbers, not just bare minimum. So that just gave you a real picture of what it could look like for you. So here's the real question. Is Orlando affordable? Well, it depends on what you're comparing it to. If you're comparing Orlando to New York, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Boston, absolutely, Orlando is way more affordable. Compared to Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville, It's pretty close, maybe slightly higher. Compared to smaller cities in the South or the Midwest, Orlando is more expensive. But here's what you need to understand. Orlando is growing fast and demand here is very high. Prices have gone up, but you're also getting no state income tax, year-round warm weather, strong job growth, and a lifestyle that has a lot of people are willing to pay for and move here. So if you're moving here with a solid income, whether that's remote work or a local job, Orlando is absolutely affordable. And if you're moving here and hoping to find a job and you're not sure what you'll make, you need to run the numbers carefully before you commit to such a big move. Now, if you're serious about moving to Orlando and you want to make it work financially, here's what I recommend. Know your income before you move. Don't guess. Have a job lined up or a solid remote income you can count on after you move. Pick the right neighborhood for your budget. Don't stretch for a zip code you can't afford just because you heard it's the best. There are affordable areas in Orlando if you're willing to be strategic and work with a team. Factor in the tax savings, because if you're coming from a high tax state, that extra money in your pocket every month is real and you won't know it really until you see it. Plan for insurance costs up front. Home and car insurance, here again, they're high. So plan for that. Don't get blindsided. Be smart about housing. Renting short term while you can until you're ready to buy. And if you're staying here long term, of course, buying is the option for you to build equity. And if you want help figuring out what you can actually afford, what neighborhoods fit your budget, or what kind of mortgage payment you're looking at, I'm here to help you do that. I work with people every week to help them figure out what options works best for them. Orlando is a beautiful city and it's my city. I love it. And I would love to be the person to help make Orlando your home as well. My info is in the description. Let's talk you through the numbers so you can make a move that's smart and you can make the move with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.